Alright, let's do this again. Okay, boom. Okay, here we go. Thomas Wichter, 5 hours ago. Why I'm leaving California, number 67,490,211. The get out of jail free card for murderers. California Bill, Assembly Bill 1810. Assembly Bill 1810 allows all criminals to petition the court for a mental health diversion program. Only the defense can submit a psychiatric evaluation. The prosecution is prohibited from rebutting it. Victims are prohibited from taking part in the process. If a criminal convinces a judge that he committed the crime due to his mental health issues, he can be diverted to an unsupervised 2-year program, after which all the charges will be dismissed. Pedophilia is listed as a mental health disorder. Therefore, a child molester can literally say, I molested a child because I'm a child molester, and he can have all charges dismissed. Alcoholism is another mental disorder. Say goodbye to prison sentences for vehicular manslaughter. If the criminal successfully completes the unsupervised program, guess what? The bill would require the court to dismiss the defendant's criminal charges with a record filed with the Department of Justice indicating the disposition of the case diverted and the arrest deemed never to have occurred. Here's the rationale for why California is doing this. California's mentally ill inmate population keeps, and so this is an article from the LA Times, it got into this thing that they can't deal with all the mentally ill criminals in their lockups. It seems to me that the courts, the behavioral health people, law enforcement, social work, everybody should get together and try to solve that problem. Senator Jim Beal, Democrat of San Jose, said, because it's like a bottomless pit if we don't reform. So the reform is that they will simply allow criminals to claim mental illness, and then the criminals go free. The actual bottomless pit for California is unfunded pension mandates for government workers. Nobody knows what the real obligation is, but it's between $500 billion and $1 trillion. These obligations will never be paid. The state will default, but for now, they will tighten their belts everywhere else. Not a single victims advocacy group or law enforcement union has come out against AB 1810. Where are the feminists at? They're all in bed with the Democrats. It's now the law of the jungle in California. Every man and woman for themselves. This is the Democratic Party. They began by waiving all laws for illegals. Now they've expanded this approach to American-born criminals. Leftist ideology opposes incarceration for all crimes. The only crime worthy of prison is political dissent. This is why Democrats have unintelligible Congolese activists into the face of the party. If you scream racist, it means you don't have to enforce any laws. Boom. There we go. And as I pointed out earlier, the unintelligible Congolese activist shirt actually says that whites are superior. She means to use the phrase white supremacism, but she's too crazy and full of hate to know that. Finally, white supremacism is not terrorism. I say that as a guy with a Mexican mother. This is terrorism. It happens in the country of origin of the unintelligible Congolese activist. This is boys forced to rape their mothers during Congo War. UN report. Also, what do you call it? Actually, let's make sure to retweet that one. More people should know about that. Also, what do you call it when a government refuses to incarcerate homicidal maniacs and refuses to allow the federal government to remove homicidal maniacs from the population? I can make a pretty good argument that Sacramento is a state sponsor of terrorism. AB 810 was passed in a secretive and dishonest way, in as secretive and dishonest ways you can imagine. Now murderers will be free to terrorize the population. Democrats cause misery and destruction everywhere they are in power. Remove them from power in November. Think of it as an act of self-defense. Addendum, just to clear up any confusion, there was no debate. The public was not informed, and Jerry Brown signed it on June 27, 2018. a chapter number means that the bill was approved. Addendum 2, and this is now a, oh, got it, what the addendum, okay, so this is actually an article now about how this, so the whole problem with a law like this is this fucks up the entire of some of you are probably already logically putting this through, like, wait, you can't do that because the entire system of arguing out to case, so suddenly you're literally sitting there trying to deal with the fact that it's like, no, in math there's an order of powers. H2O is a chemical formula. Up is up and down is down. You know, you're like thinking all logical and shit. Well, yes, this is actually a true postmodern law. This just took the entire concept of law and was like, this, it's like a cat, like its tail, meow, purr. No, like this Stealth Jeff drawn strike. Wait. You mean this already passed? It's now the law. They sneaked this into a budget bill and passed already without telling the voters. Somebody else. Now, in the worst example of rushed reform yet, Governor Jerry Brown this week signed into Assembly Bill 1A, the budget trailer bill with no credited author that takes effect immediately. And so apparently it's like this, yeah, there's this totally fucks up the very concept of case law and what is a crime, and if did somebody actually have their rights defended, like the victim of the crime, did they have their rights defended by, like, the government can't say, oh, you are owed this person holds a debitum to you. You know, you hold this, that there's a sum of justice that you are saying is deserved upon your side, and we are here to balance the scales. But unfortunately, this person is such a fucking nut job that we don't actually permit them to be punished for the crazy fucking crimes that, well, technically this person couldn't have even committed against you because they're insane. So so this is beautiful in that if they then say, oh yeah, oh I totally did that crazy shit to that person because I'm crazy, nigga, you know, that they'll be like, oh, well, oh, now you definitely can't be punished. You even admitted that because you're crazy, you did this crazy thing to this person. This is amazing. Only in California. Only in and really, no, actually no, I should not say that. It's just like what Jello Biafra said. This could be anywhere. This could be everywhere. This could be anywhere. And now more and more, really, Jello Biafra really made it understood. It's really now understood. It wasn't that there was something about the way that California was that it just became a hellscape. No. It's that by the time Jello Biafra was in his teen years, probably starting in about 70, it was becoming increasingly so, because it was full of all kinds of commie trash and nut jobs, and people were fine with crazy people fucking each other in Golden Gate Park and you know and doing and being nutters. And so of course to him, he was like seeing this sci-fi dystopia forming, you know, and New York was becoming, you know, New York was permitted to be this rat trap, you know, the rotten apple. And when we look at it, what are we looking at? We're looking at the permissiveness of democratic urban rule with cities that had increasingly more and more powerful unions, public sector unions, and were run historically by labor unions. And labor unions are like, you know, the merchant marines and all these other groups that it's like, no, if you don't make a deal with them, you just don't have industry in your city. And yeah, he's just right. Everywhere they go, it's just the crows start circling. The buzzards will show up. You know, the strange, you know, the strange vermin will show up to start getting ready to eat to eat who falls, and Oregon is not long from now. It's only going to be that the rural areas of Oregon have to start getting people into office who are just rude, who just say things that are just untoward a little now and then. So no, you're our problem. You're the key problem of the state. No, the rest of the state would love to develop their economies. You guys are increasingly a problem. You major cities, because all this effort goes toward dealing with you, attracting people to go to your cities, rather than use their ingenuity to increase the general prosperity of the state across the state, especially into the eastern portions, so that the agricultural economies there can become more and more and more efficient, and then it becomes easier and easier for people to get their goods to market quickly once it's time for harvest in their respective crops, or or that they make it easier for people to do the livestock farming that's necessary so that we have a thriving, pretty much self-sustaining market for meat animals. That's a real thing. We need chicken. People need beef. People eat lamb in Oregon. The more local it is, the better. And that's the ingenuity we need. That's what we need. We need to figure out how to trap water in the eastern portion of the state. There's all these efforts that we could really be thinking of how to make Oregon last another 100 years. But instead, we're concentrating continually on really just coming up with stupid ass ideas to make people feel good about either like poor socialization, or the kind of failing results in school. And it's like, well, obviously you're going to have to allow schools to go back to methods that existed another time. And if you recorded these methods, you're going to have infrastructure. You're going to have to start figuring out, can people still live out there? What are we going to do about these communities that are kind of almost impossible to get to? These problems are going to have to be solved. There isn't a choice. They can't be put on a credit card. They can't be pushed down another 10 years. And when it comes to this abolishing prisons and all this stuff, now you see the Democrats are full bonkers. They're full bonkers, they're full commie, and they have nothing to offer now. Other than actually fracturing the very concept of justice itself. Now they have fractured justice. They have actually, not with just social justice in school, now they have actually, in policy, caused California to no longer defend the civil rights of citizens against criminals. It's amazing. Where are the feminists at? No place, because they don't really exist. They're just commies in skirts.